You guys absolutely know what it is. Welcome back to He Said Us, the most disgusting channel on the internet. I am your host, and today we are going to talk about a little bit of a follow-up to a story that I've talked about before on the Green Is Not Nick channel. And also, I have a lot of updates to fill you in on the future of this channel and kind of where my head's at, because it seems like at the end of every year, I kind of fall back into this cycle where it's like, I'm going into this dip of content where I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next, and I'm kind of getting bored of what's happening before. And if you've watched me for a while, you know that is a very normal cycle for me to fall into, to feel like I need to constantly do something new and reinvent what I'm doing in order to make myself feel happy with my job. I had to take a step back, look at what I did, and really ask myself what I want to make. And I feel like some of those answers might be on this whiteboard. Maybe, whoa, what the hell? Maybe not. Okay, but anyways, let's just jump into the drama today. There will be timestamps below if you want to get to the news, and if you just want to watch the drama, you're at the right place. So today we are talking about a story that I talked about on the Green Is Not Nick channel back when I was on tour. If you have seen this video, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's about to pop up on the screen. There it is. Popular TikTok bartender overshares her marriage drama. Now, if you haven't seen this video, I urge you to watch it. I think it's pretty funny, but if not, I will give you a little bit of a rundown. Let me paint the picture in one big broad thing. If you don't know the story, Michelle, her husband, and her two kids live at home together. Michelle's husband went out drinking, which is something that he's not supposed to do. He's an alcoholic. He brought home a stranger from the bar and basically had his family set up to get robbed without knowing it. But his wife was there to tell the guy to go away. Anyways, she makes a whole TikTok about how this happened, and everyone was like, hey, you need to get like a security system because this guy knows where you and your children live, and you could be in serious danger. Your husband is not a dad that should be the father of your kids. She got super mad at everybody for telling her like how she should treat her own marriage, and was pissed off that people were saying that her husband is irresponsible and a bad father, which he is, because he brought home a literal stranger at 3 a.m. to the house that his kids were sleeping in. Anyways, people do some digging around online, and apparently her husband has been arrested in the past on child abuse charges.
Appears that her husband was arrested allegedly on child abuse charges last year. It was a misdemeanor. I don't know how serious and everything it was, because I think like you can do something like, I read you can get like a speeding ticket with a child in the car and get a similar charge to something like this. I don't know how serious it is, but it's just concerning with all the story times with her husband, you know, how she said how.
So you have that, and then you also have, of course, tweets coming out from Michelle in the past, and I really don't care that much, but just because it happens to be two different separate tweets about how she wants to like kill a dog, just a little bit weary, thought that was worth bringing up, I guess. Anyways, that brings us to December 12th, where Michelle puts out a TikTok telling a story about somebody that goes to the bar she works at. Now, Michelle does this crazy thing on TikTok where she tells everybody where she works. You can literally go to the bar that she works at and talk to her if you want to. And that is opening up a lot of doors for interesting things to happen with the people she talks about on her TikTok, because she constantly makes stories about the people who drink at the bar. And so it's like everybody knows who those people are if you go to the bar. Anyways, she starts working at this new place, and let's watch the TikTok and see what the hell is going on.
Normally, I don't call people out in this way because I don't want them to come back up and like know that I was talking about them. But in this case, I really don't care, because this woman that I'm about to tell you does not ever order anything from us.
The other thing I forgot to say is that Michelle talks in the most like condescending demeanor every time she makes videos, and she does this thing where she like nods her head, and it's like very it's pretty awful. It's quite revolting.
And she's never tipped us. And I'm not lying. Every single night that I have worked, she has come in. The first night that I met her was my first day. I walk up to her and I'm like, hey, what would you like? And she's like, I'm thinking. I was like, okay, well, let me know when you're ready. I'll come back to you. I come back to her. She goes, I'll just take a water. I'm like, okay. And the other bartender was like, we call that girl crazy water bitch. I was like, what? She goes, she never orders anything but water, and she never tips us.
Okay, so first off, this is going to come back up later with the like ethics of tipping and water in bars. I personally don't have much of a strong opinion on it. I think if you are at the bar and you're getting water, chances are you're with other people who are paying for drinks. And I think if you're paying for an actual drink, of course you should tip every time. If you get water and you're there the whole night, I would probably tip a few dollars at the end of the night if I just was getting water. But I would not think that someone's a bad person if they went to a bar, just got water to hang out with some people, chill, and left. Now, apparently at this bar, Michelle's painting it out to seem like everyone hates when people do that, which is a really good way to get business for your bar, is to make fun of people who like maybe don't want to drink. Maybe they're in a bar setting and they feel more comfortable not drinking around other people, but they still want to be able to socialize.
She comes here to prey on men. I said, well, has she ever gone home with any of them? She said, sometimes. And we never see that guy again. What? One of the other bartenders was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she like takes dudes home and like hides them in her basement or something. What? One time she left her phone up on the bar, and I get it, and I look at like the picture. You know how normally it's a picture of your dog or your kid or your like nephew or you and your family or you and your husband or something. This picture was of her standing in a dressing room with this face, like this. I was like, oh my God, it's Crazy Water Bitch, you guys. And I don't think she's on the spectrum or anything like that. It's just a strange thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she's on the spectrum. I don't think she's like a fucking freak weirdo or anything, but like, it's like, what is going on? So she makes this video about the crazy water bee. She makes a comment about how she's not on the spectrum for some reason. And the story is just very odd to a lot of people. It's like everyone knows where you work. You're talking about conversations that are happening between you and your coworkers. So people who go to that bar have a good chance of seeing the content that you're making about people who are going to the bar. And a lot of situations that have to do with like people who do only drink water at a bar, or who don't drink at all, or, you know, have a history with alcoholism. It's a very vulnerable position to be in, and to have the person there who is supposed to be serving you talk shit behind your back and on the internet to a bunch of people and like talk gossip is just like weird. And everybody kind of got that vibe and was like pretty off put by the spectrum comment. Someone said, sometimes, girl, you need to keep your thoughts to yourself. This isn't a call up, it's a straight up attack. Tip for water. The spectrum comment says much more about you than it does about her. She doesn't have to tip the rude entitled bartender on a $0 check. Everyone was pretty upset about it. Well, that's not where it ends, because this person by the name of May made a video about the situation as someone who actually goes to the bar. It was her lip syncing to a song saying, I'm playing the victim, recovered alcoholic, and you're still an alcoholic bartender who talks badly about the people who pay your bills. And it's so embarrassing. So a little bit of shots fired there, but she follows it up with a TikTok that really dives into the situation.
Boys, good morning. Thought I'd do a little fill-in recap from last night.
Now, May goes on to say that she drinks at this bar, and she is not the crazy water bee girl, but her friend is, who goes to this bar, and her friend knows herself that she's kind of an interesting girl. Like, she knows that she's a little quirky, whatever. But May says that her and her friends don't want to go to this bar anymore and don't feel comfortable going anymore after Michelle made those videos about her friend. Let's hear what she has to say.
So, it's really not a good look, okay? So, when I saw that video, I went down to Uncle Jesse's in the middle of me getting ready. I live like 2 minutes away. I walk in there, and I'm like, Michelle, I saw your TikTok. That's about my friend. Take it the fuck down. This is ridiculous. Like, you're saying that she's borderline on the spectrum, that like she's a murderer. Like, where are you getting these ideas from? Like, I'm like, she's a sober queen. She drinks on occasion. I never drink. I'm like, just because we don't look the same, does that give you any reason to think that she's weirder than I am? Like, I'm just as fucking weird. And she was like, what? No. And I was like, delete the fucking TikTok, Michelle. It's embarrassing. I'm getting secondhand embarrassment. Like, I just know that if that video someone made about her kid, she would go berserk. She would literally have an absolute conniption. Someone did DM me on TikTok and say that I should go to the police station. And I think I am actually going to go to the police station and just like send a copy of her video and send a copy of my video.
So long story short, Maymay is not happy about it. She calls Michelle out, tells her to delete the video. Michelle doesn't. She tries to diffuse, but will not delete the TikTok. It's obviously still up now. So this brings us to the next day, December 3rd. And Michelle puts out this video that is titled Psychology of Hater Comments. She's replying to a comment that says, Michelle, sweetie, come on, the Spectrum comment was inappropriate. You're embarrassing yourself. Let's see what she has to say about a lot of people being like rightfully concerned about a really weird comment that she made.
I've gotten several comments on my recent video saying we're just going to ignore the comments in that last video. I'm not ignoring them. I'm just choosing to not let it get to me. I was not coming from a bad place by saying.
I'm not ignoring them. I'm just avoiding them, not really listening to them.
The Spectrum thing. I was trying to anticipate the fact that everybody would be like, oh, maybe she's on the spectrum, because I'm not trying to make fun of anybody that I think, if I thought she actually was, I would never have made the video. People love the bar like stories and the bar like drama. Also, there's nothing wrong with going to the bar and just drinking water or soda water with lime or whatever you, there's nothing.
We know that there's nothing wrong with going to the bar and just ordering water. Everyone was on the same page just about that fact, except for you. You were the one that made the video making it seem like you shouldn't do that. And just because you think that you might anticipate people saying she's on the spectrum, I don't think, even if you want to somehow make some comment to cover your tracks there, it's not a good look, and there were better ways to say that. Also, like the selfie photo where she's just sitting there like this thing, I looked down at my Instagram and I was like, oh wait, this is like a selfie. It was just sitting, this photo is just sitting open on my phone. But that's not like creepy. Well, that photo was creepy, but having a selfie of yourself as your screensaver, sure, it's a little bit of like a millennial thing or whatever, but it looked like, just because she has a straight face, she's just taking a selfie. She's just doing a thirst trap. I don't think that means that she's a fucking murderer. Anyways, let's keep listening. There's a million things I could say. You let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm gonna like cut this down a little bit because I'm just yapping, but let's keep listening.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. If you think that that video was about that, you missed the point. The only reason I mentioned that was because she's not like coming in and spending like money. Y'all don't know the half of it. It's hard to explain unless you see it for yourself. It's just
so condescending. I mean, like, you guys just don't get it. Actually, I don't think you guys get it. It's I was actually being a good person, and I'm nice and I'm awesome and I'm good.
Strange. That's all I'm saying. But then I find out last night after we closed that she came in a couple of days ago and ordered a White Claw and tipped 100%. So I did not know that before I posted the video. She's just never ordered anything from me ever besides water. Okay? All right.
This is literally like one of the dumbest people on this app. Just the way she talks with like the confidence she tries to bring to the situation about how, no, you guys actually, let me just explain. She ordered a White Claw and tipped 100%, so that means it's okay. And I didn't know that. No matter what, whether or not she did that, it doesn't change the story. Whether or not she bought the White Claw, whether or not she tipped you at all, doesn't change anything. There is something wrong with working at a bar as like a public figure-ish, and everyone knows where you work, and you're making content about people at the bar that you think are weird. Do you understand how that sounds? Imagine if, remember when there was that one, everyone thought that kid, that sexy kid who worked at Target, what was that guy's name? Ellen gave him like a fucking Ellen underwear or something. The sexy kid at Target, imagine if everyone knew the specific Target he worked at, and he was making videos about people who were getting checked out at the checkout line at Target. That's the worst metaphor I've ever come up with. Jesus Christ. It's awful comparison. Anyways, there's a million things wrong with this. Obviously, a lot of people agreed. Let's look at the top comments. You openly mocked her, made fun of a photo of her, called her on the spectrum, joked about her killing guys. How you think that's okay is beyond me. Apparently, May is going to the police to file a report against you. You're missing the point. That was a weird way of saying sorry. She said, never said I was sorry. I have nothing to be sorry for. And this is something that can happen online where you can have a mob of people get upset and you're like kind of feeling like you're up against the wall. And so you get defensive and like, that's normal. We have our moments. You can forgive and move on. But when you just like keep up the video, say you have nothing to be sorry for, and completely miss the point that anyone's saying like, hey, the reason why this is wrong is because you shouldn't be making videos about the people who come to drink at your bar, because you could be embarrassing someone who already feels very vulnerable about something that has to do with alcohol, drinking, etc. Now things continue to stir up and get a little weird because the lines blur about what Michelle was being honest about with her coworkers and what they were saying and what they were calling this girl, and whether or not there were actually people calling her the crazy water bee or not. It seems like Michelle could have very easily made up this story to try to be, you know, entertaining or whatever to people on TikTok. Obviously, it doesn't come off that way. It just comes off pretty awful. But Michelle weirdly 2 days later makes this video that had everyone very confused.
We've seen boy math. We've seen girl math. Now let's do ordering a water at a bar math. If you go to a bar and order a water, it's free. And no one cares. Everyone should drink more water.
Speed it up, lady.
If you go to a bar and order water and don't tip, also, no one cares. Everyone needs to hydrate. If you go to a bar and you order water all night and you tip $1 every like 3 or 4 waters that you order, your bartenders love you. We know that 20% tip on a $0 tab is $0. So you tip like 1,000%. If you go to the bar with your...
It's always this like head nod with this sort of like DreamWorks ass like smirk. It's this right here is what just drives me up the wall.
If you go to the bar with your friends all night and you only order water and you don't tip, don't worry, the bartenders still love you because
listen to this.
You are probably the DD and you're keeping all of your friends in check.
I'm wondering right now after listening to this, I'm like, okay, what's the catch going to be though? Let's listen.
So thank you. If you go to this same bar for at least 4 hours every single night and you only order water all night and you never tip, don't worry, that is normal. And if your bartender thinks that that is weird, they need to be fired. Call the cops.
So everyone kind of sat back and said, what's going on? Is she either being sarcastic, or is she backing up on her point, or is she trying to like switch sides and trick everyone into thinking that she thought it was okay the whole time? It doesn't really make any sense. I feel like I'm being gaslit is really kind of what I feel like wraps this whole video up in one sentence. And so I can't tell if she's trying to make a thing where she's like, if someone does this, this, and this, and this, like, you're still okay. Like, it's fine. But is she trying to make it sound like that's crazy? I don't know. Super confusing. So then this random guy shows up. I'm trying to do this the best way I can. Like, I'm trying to collect the story as much as I could with the pieces I could find. But this guy named Rick, who is apparently like a friend of Michelle in real life, he has like 7,000 followers or something. Yeah. And he made a stitch with May about Michelle. And he made the caption, "Did you thank Michelle bartender for the views?" It seems like he's on Michelle's side. Let's listen to what he has to say.
But seriously, no one's been there more than me.
I just got off the phone with Michelle. She's actually a friend of mine.
He's like in my right ear.
Yeah, you did go in. But as far as people knowing you, she hasn't been there that long. But the bartenders that she was working with have been there since the beginning. And they don't know you either.
What, this guy seems like such a dork ass. What is going on? So he is speaking on behalf of Michelle now, sort of. We kind of get a good sense of like how Michelle feels about the situation through her buddy here, because he goes on like a rampage about how the bartenders who work at this bar don't even know you and your friends, and you're definitely not regulars, and yada yada yada, and you're wrong about this and this.
I was like, I hope she thanked you. I hope you thanked her for all the views that you got on that video, because you saying you're in social media, but you've only done 2 posts for Uncle Jesse's, and you have 12,000 people. So for somebody who wants to be in social media, 700,000 views is a lot of views. Enjoy your day.
Guys like him should get thrown down a well. So it's very obvious that Michelle has a friend who is now making claims that May and her friends are not regulars at the bar. The bartenders don't know who she is, and she's just doing all of this for views because she wants to be a social media star. Who the hell is this guy? Where did he come from? Is this Michelle's husband who brought a bunch of men home to the kids?
I cannot believe this is still going on and she's still lying. I've seen all the videos, I've seen the reports, I've seen the Reddits, I've seen her live. Like, I don't know what she's trying to accomplish here. I don't understand. My video wasn't for clout whatsoever. I really didn't think it was gonna get that much attention. It was about sticking up for someone. I was a really mean girl. I was definitely a bully. I was insecure and had my own problems, but since then I have become a nicer person. So watching that video just put chills down my spine. It infuriated me, just knowing that it was someone that I knew and care about, okay? So as far as nobody there knowing me, here is this little picture from May 14th. This was after a couple times of us going there. So me and my friends have been active Uncle Jesse goers Thursday through Saturday. The entire summer. This, it won't let me do the timestamp, but May 14th. Okay, here's Michelle's first shift, October 14th. It is just the biggest load of shit saying that no one there knew me. It just doesn't make sense. And the person that she was working to, when I went and confronted her, he even apologized to me and was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know this was going on. I didn't know this was being said. He was like, I don't even have social media. I know nothing. Okay, that guy's been working there since the beginning of time. He knows me. He has seen me 100 times. Why is she lying? It is so beyond me. But in Michelle's live, she was going on and on about how she has a lot of personal problems in her life. If you have that many personal problems, stay at home. Quit your job, get some help. Stop drinking. Stop posting stuff on the internet. If you really need help, if you're really that down bad, if your relationship's really that terrible, remove yourself. Otherwise, we have no sympathy for you whatsoever. We just don't.
Tell him now. This is getting really messy. It seems like Michelle is like dying on this hill of like, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm allowed to make stories about complete strangers and call them weird and make claims about them, like literally preying on men and taking them home and like killing them or something. Like, it's an insane thing to say. If you look at the TikTok, I actually have seen a new one that might have come up today. There's like two. This one says, y'all are going to choose someone from the comments who I will gain as a real life friend, which is an insane. I cannot believe that I don't even have words for this.
I'm going to try something new and different that I've never done before. So yesterday in my inbox, one of my friends on TikTok,
this is insane,
messaged me about something. She lives in Canada, so we got on Snapchat and like video FaceTimed kind of thing for a while. And it was one of the best conversations that I've had in a very long time, and I really enjoyed it. And
get out of here. Why are they giving me tips? I don't need tips.
She brought up the idea, if you've ever wanted to have me as like a real life friend and be able to chat with me one-on-one, face-to-face, over the phone, I'm going to choose the comment with the most likes, and I'm going to message that person, and we are going to get to chat one-on-one. I want to put my energy into the people that genuinely love me, and I want to get to know you better. So this is my way of doing it. I'm just trying something new. If you're interested in talking to me one-on-one as like a friend, no judgment, comment on this post. If your comment gets the most likes, we are going to be chatting. I can't wait to meet you, whoever you are. This
is insane. And the comments kind of repeat that sentiment. I can't think of anyone I'd like to talk to less. Staying relevant so hard as a bartender and someone who's been following you for a while. I love this. No. Guys, what is up? Welcome back to He Said Us. I actually don't have any more friends anymore. Leave a comment down below. The top comment, you get to know my address. You get to come hang out with me at my house whenever you want. comment down below and I will pick the winner, and you can come over and live at my house. I cannot imagine a worse idea. I cannot imagine a worse idea than giving someone who might be like your biggest fan or whatever, like personal contact with you. What?
I decided to face.
So this is where I guess things take another step, and this was posted 17 hours ago. Thank you for taking time to talk to me tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. This is fucked. This is so weird, but let's listen.
I decided to FaceTime through Snapchat one of my TikTok followers. This is me meeting her for the first time right here. I did a video saying that I wanted to be friends with one of my followers, and I was gonna let you guys pick whichever comment had the most likes. I was going to have a real life phone FaceTime chat with them. This is Kat. Her comment got 460 likes, which was the most likes out of all of the positive comments that I saw.
The most likes out of all the positive comments. Come on, Michelle. You know the rules. Just throw one of your haters on there.
Her comment said, Michelle, I don't think I'd ever be able to hang up. I feel like I relate to you on everything.
If someone told me, hey, Nick, I'd love for you to call me, I don't think I could ever hang up, I would run in the other direction.
And I had an amazing time. We talked for 3 hours. We talked about so many things, and she was able to open up to me, so I was able to open up to her about.
This is so weird. Oh, you don't mind that I'm gonna screen record this and use it for content though? Like, I wanna be your real friend, but you don't. Do you care if I just like upload a clip
about
of
stuff
us
that
talking?
I would never post about. We always let each other know when we were screen recording, but for some reason the sound didn't go through, which is why I am doing this voiceover right now. She said she was so nervous when we first got on the phone together, but then after about 30 seconds, we talked like besties. It was like I've known her forever.
This is insane. I didn't even know that this like had gotten to this point when I started recording this video. I didn't know it was there yet. Oh my god. Okay, so I guess we'll follow this. We'll see if it gets crazier, but I think we should somehow make a transition over to just a couple things I wanted to say about the future of the channel and my content. I'm really in a place right now where I did push myself pretty hard to the point where I feel like it's time for me to scale things back and take a look at what I do and whether or not like I enjoy doing what I'm doing in the moment while I'm doing it, in the process. Like, I want to enjoy what I'm doing while I'm shooting it, while I'm editing it. Throughout the entire thing, I want to make sure that I can like stay excited and enjoy the content that I'm making. And I kind of realized that pushing myself to the amount that I was in order to have the efficiency I was ended up, you know, of course, sacrificing, you know, quality in certain areas. And I've had a lot of criticisms over the year of people who think that like the low effort content or, you know, making stuff quickly is like a worse way to do the YouTube thing, and it's like not how you want to show off your art. And I totally get that. Like, I feel that when I make low effort content, but at the same time, I believe that every genre of content fills its own purpose for somebody. And a channel that yaps about random shit and doesn't really have everything jam-packed together and scripted isn't less or more important than a channel who does, you know, very scripted, high quality pieces of work. It's hard to not hate on my own content and content like it about how it feels like it's not super artistically fulfilling or this or that. But at the end of the day, YouTube is a job, and it is about the kind of videos you make and how you want to put yourself out there. It doesn't necessarily need to be a big art piece every time, but I do really look up to YouTubers who do that. And so trying to figure out a way in which I can balance this feeling of I want to post consistent quality content, but if I start putting too much time into that content, I'm going to post less consistently. And if I do bigger concept ideas, then I will kind of have to put a halt on doing videos that are every few days, because it's like hard for me to balance those two things. I can't really focus on two things at once as you can see. Whenever I start a new project, you can kind of tell in my content like where that kind of wavers. And what I want to do is start making something that I'm excited to make again, that I'm proud of, that I think is new. And I don't think I necessarily want to stop doing drama videos. I still love it, but I think I want to put more time into them and like do bigger stories rather than trying to like grab 3 things a week. I know I'm missing some of the ways I feel about it. I think about this and organize and worry about how the YouTube channel is going to go and where my career is headed and where I want it to go. It's something that I worry about all the time, and it may not seem like it because sometimes I'm just like pumping out content, but a lot of the time I gain the satisfaction from being able to finish projects, put it out there, get feedback from people. And so I do enjoy putting out stuff often because I get to have that constant communication, but I want to make something funny and cool and something I'm proud of to show off to people. I enjoy talking drama and I enjoy covering stories that are like interesting to me, but there's more I want to do. And I feel like next year is the year where I can really branch out and try some new stuff. Now, I wrote some things down on this whiteboard, and I'm not going to fully dive into some of the ideas I have because I kind of want some of them to be a surprise. But there are some different things that I want to do, whether it's on my main channel or on a new channel or something that is a bigger, more tied together piece of work. One of those things is something that I've kind of wanted to do forever, which is make a documentary about what I personally think is the most interesting band in the world. An artist that just has such an interesting and weird, fucked up like background, and the way they create art is so revolting that I am obsessed with it. I'm not like a hater of every single thing I see. I do love listening to music that is good, but I also have quite the fixation on certain artists that have the kind of content that AJR has. They have like making of videos and interviews, and they have created a massive fan base out of the music they make. And if you don't know AJR, you're probably like confused, but I am obsessed with telling people about how bad I think they are and just how interesting I think their process is and the way that they show their content and tie stories together. And so I want to make a documentary that's not just like to shit on them, but to more look at and marvel at an anomaly that I feel like happened online that I find personally really interesting. And I constantly like tell people about how I feel about it, but I really want to like package it together into one big thing. And it's really hard to do that because it's like, where do you even begin with like a huge script and a huge like research driven like deep dive on something? But I'm going to keep looking into it and see where I can go with it. The next thing I want to do is make some sort of like video essay around this movie, Ma. That is a, what's her goddamn name? Octavia Spencer. Ma is this insane movie. I watched it for the first time. You guys have probably at least heard of it. And it has such a wacky like background to it. And when I watched it, I honestly fell in love with just how bizarre it is. It's a movie that on paper is not good at all. It's honestly pretty easy to hate, but it's so weird and such an interesting genre of content that is like this self-aware campiness, but at the same time it isn't self-aware. And it's another one of those things that I feel like I'm just obsessed with that I could talk about forever. And I think it'd be fun. You Cringe You Smoke, we're going to try to keep bringing it back. I wanted to do more consistent episodes, but it's just hard to find nights where I'm willing to just like smoke a lot and find content that I'm willing to like be entertaining while watching. Did that sentence make any sense? No. You Cringe You Smoke isn't going anywhere, but it's just going to have like not super consistent uploads, and hopefully we'll have more. It will always be on He Said Us though, at least for the time being. QJ4, I can't tell you a lot about it, but 2024 is going to be the year of the queef, and I am not kidding when I say that. If you've seen what queef has done this year, we have probably 3, 4, 5 times as much as that planned, so far ahead of time that I think this year could be really big, and I think it could be an interesting thing to keep your eye out for. If you have seen Dev and I on the road and you have met us on the road or have watched us play live or have met us in person, you may be interested in what might happen early next year, announcement wise, and possibly something for people to get interested in. That's all I'm gonna say. Also, Queef Jerky gifts. We got an insane amount of gifts on tour. Dev just made a video talking about the gifts she got on tour for Dev Lemons, but we saved all of the Queef Jerky gifts, and we're gonna do a separate gift opening on the Queef Jerky channel, and show off the gifts that we got, because we got some like really funny stuff, and I'm really excited to show everybody, and I think it's gonna be a good time. Podcast 2024. Listen, you know how I am with podcasts. It's a mess. It's always a mess. But this time I'm working behind the scenes to create a new concept show idea that I think it's pretty interesting and new, and it's not something that you guys have seen before. And so I'm planning on doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure that when I do announce it and when episodes do start coming out, you're going to be getting them every week, and it's going to be really interesting is all I will say. I don't really know how to say much more than that without spoiling it. Just know that you know how I get uneasy at the idea of starting a podcast where I just yap all the time. I don't want to just make that. I want to make a show that people haven't seen before and do something that pushes the boundaries of like what other people are seeing in the podcast space or whatever. That sounds dramatic maybe, but it's fun. It's just fun. Next, learn to speak tongues. I got to go to the Pentecostal church, do a freaking video there or something. I don't know. I just thought that'd be funny to write down. And there's still so much more. I wrote down here, I got new shoes because I was wearing my new shoes while recording yesterday when I tried to film this, but I couldn't get myself to record because I've just been in a bit of a slump and I've been sick this past week. Now, nothing on. Literally nothing on. And if I forget to censor that foot, I'm going to be so upset with myself. If you've known me over the years, you probably know me well enough when it comes to my feelings with content and the way I feel about efficiency, and how this job is not something where it's like, okay, every week my boss needs like a video on his desk every Monday and I have to do it regardless of what else I need to get done in my life. It's more of a mental game than anything, where I would never want to look at myself and look at a content creator who only makes videos once every few months and puts a lot of time into it. We might be on separate sides of the spectrum, but I do not think that one person is above the other. I don't think that one process of creating work is possibly above another. I think every process of work has a meaning and a purpose that it fills for the people who want to enjoy that entertainment. And I want to start making content that isn't just to a broad audience of what everyone's talking about, which is, of course, I will still make videos that everyone wants to hear and listen to. If something big happens on the internet, of course, I want to cover it and give my take on it. But I think there's more I could be doing. I think I could be making better content, and I think I could be a better content creator for myself and for the people who watch me. I'm not necessarily like proud of the past 2 or 3 years of content. It's hard for me to like look back at what I've made and look back at the people that I've been friends with and the relationships I've created. And it's hard to look at peers around me and what other people are making and not feel completely self-conscious and embarrassed of the content I make. Because, you know, when you put stuff out there and so many eyes are on it, everyone has their own opinions, and as much as I might hear the negative opinions about what I do coming from people, it never really it doesn't ever like wear off to the point where it like doesn't affect me. I think I still beat myself up so much with my work and my content that I am constantly worried about, oh my god, I haven't posted a video in a week, I am falling behind here, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to make sure I cover this story. And that kind of just like brought me down this dark path where everything was about output. It was like, can I put 3 videos out on my second channel? Can I put 2 He Said Us videos out? Can I do this song and try to make this main channel video? And obviously when the quantity of videos goes up, the time takes longer per video. And if you start putting out a lot of videos, then you have to stretch that time out amongst a lot of things. And so the problem I run into is like, I want to make these big like ideas, big concept ideas that I have for content, in these videos that I think are entertaining, important, unique, and something that I will be proud of. But at the same time, I have a responsibility and a want for myself in terms of how my business is doing as a YouTuber, and being afraid that that consistency and bringing in a certain amount of revenue every month, knowing that will drop off if I decide to switch what I do and change up once again the kind of content I make. It's a dangerous thing, and it's really uncomfortable, and it affects everything, because not only does it affect the YouTube channels you stop posting on, but all social media is affected by how your career is doing and how your channel is doing in terms of how many eyeballs are seeing you every day. Next year, I have so many ideas and so many aspirations that I want to achieve, but I am so struck with fear in terms of how am I supposed to organize my time in a way where I can do those things and still feel like I have a presence on the internet and still feel like I'm, relevant or whatever. As much as I often want to put on the face that like everything's fine and I'm chilling and like it's cool or whatever, no, I struggle pretty awfully with that stuff. And like, I do hear people's concerns, and it does hurt to know that I sometimes don't reach those expectations for people. And I look back at things that I've done and said and created, and I'm embarrassed a lot of the time. I really am. And it is hard for me to say that publicly while also having all of this content that I've created over the years on the internet for people to see. You constantly have this feeling where it's like, I want to take all of that down and start fresh. But there's so much involved in the content creation and the sponsors and the revenue and the business that things get really muddy and really stressful, and it's hard to really keep up at a pace that feels like not only your career is going well, but the rest of your life, the connections you have. And especially as someone who struggles with that focus and that balancing of different elements of my life, it's hard for me to feel like I'm properly communicating and staying close to people I love while also being able to make content and move my career forward in a way that fulfills me. This is a long ass rant for no reason. I'm just spitballing some ideas I have, but long story short, I just want people to know that I really want to do better when it comes to the quality of my content, when it comes to what I'm saying on camera, even though I'm dumping a whole bunch of shit at the end of this video, like uncut, whatever, I don't care. I want to show that I am growing as a person and as a content creator, and I want to be able to achieve the things that I think are success in my book, I guess. What I'm trying to say basically is that less videos are going to be posted amongst, the next couple months or whatever. I don't know what the plan is moving forward. Obviously, you guys are probably aware at this point that you never can really predict when I'm going to be going full throttle and when I'm not going to be making anything. And that freaks me out because the numbers are so important to me and hurt my mental health so much, the way that I obsess over the performance of my videos and trying to make videos that the biggest amount of people will see. It has ruined the way I see content, and has made me pretty unhappy when it comes to like what I'm actually making and how I feel about my presence and the person I am online. When you are online and you're making as many videos as I am in the amount of time, there's a lot of things said that you don't have time to really think about or sleep on or ask people about. It's like, turn on the camera, here's my opinion, let me know what you think about it. And when that happens and you don't have people to bounce your ideas off of and you're just talking to a camera, I can seem very short-sighted and very undereducated on certain topics, or just I can say things that make me seem like a person who can't empathize with certain viewpoints. And I want to be better at that. and still bring interesting opinions to my videos and interesting questions about the topics we get into, but doing so in a way that isn't hurting anybody, but is starting a conversation. And I hope you guys can see that I'm making the effort to do that in these next few months, because I don't often appreciate what I have. I don't often look at what I've created and the people that watch me and all the support I have and actually feel grateful about it, rather than feeling like, okay, good, but like I need to get to the next step, you know? And the reality is that if I want to make videos that are just going to appeal to the widest audience, sure, maybe I could make it to that next step, but when will I hit a point where the content I want to make is just the content that I like and what I think is important? And I guess that's my goal this next year, is to, you know, not operate under the idea that I just need to be putting out big videos so I can promote my other stuff that I actually care about. I just want to actually care about everything I make. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be making fun videos. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be touching on drama or sometimes making low effort videos on this channel or whatever. It just means that I want to take more care into what I do, and I want to listen to people more, and I want to hear what my audience enjoys, and I want to hear what I enjoy, and talk to myself and say, hey Nick, what do you want to make? What do you want to make? Anyways, I've been recording for an hour. I thought this was going to take like 20 minutes, but that's the video. Most of you guys probably didn't even get to this part. If you are a fan of mine and you decided to watch till the end and like hear what I had to say, I honestly really appreciate that. If you feel like there's other people who enjoy what I make and would like to hear those words, I would like a lot of people to know that I feel this way, but obviously it's hard to not just like barf all my thoughts online and make a mess. So all that to say, I am really grateful for the people that stick around. It's been a crazy few years. I mean, this summer is going to be coming up on, I think April will be coming up on my 3rd year of doing this full time. And that's a terrifying thought, I think, right? 2 years? I don't know. I'm not going to think too hard about it. That's the video. Thank you for watching. Liver is out now. Queef Jerky's new song. We got more on the way. I'm really hoping that this next year is going to be something very special. We still have a couple more treats before the end of the year, so hopefully some fun stuff happens. This isn't the last content I'm going to be making this year. I don't know if I'm going to fully stop making stuff or if you're going to get a few videos here and there. We're going to figure it out as we go. Just know that I'm okay and I'm doing better every day, and I think the future's looking bright. Okay. I hope you guys have a good week, and yeah, share this video with anyone if you think they might like it. They probably won't. And that's it. Bye.